All right, we're gonna go live now. I always get nervous. Here. All right. Hello, amazing people who are watching tonight. Yes, stay connected. This is going to be an amazing topic with a very, very special speaker. Welcome back once again to another Friday night, all of us here together for our Thanksgiving series, having a very special guest speaker each week all the way till Thanksgiving night. It's helping us to connect through their inspiring life stories. And we're just grateful for these resources so we can connect with all of you watching during these times. And like we said before, comment, like, share. We want you to be part of this conversation. If you have any prayer petitions, you can put them down below. If you have questions or if you have any questions for our special speaker, you can go ahead and just drop your questions down there. So before anything else, it's having faith through the trials, right? And I know many of us are going through things in silence, and it doesn't have to be like that. And I know it's been through very uncertain times, but it's also been a time where it's helping us grow our faith, where it's helped us to learn a little bit more about ourselves because we were going too fast, our schedules, and just too much going on. So it's also been a year of hope and giving us light and showing us how to grow more in our faith. So it's not full of darkness. Even in the darkness, there is light, like I've said before. And we're grateful for that. So thank you, God. This is our Friday night faithful time here all together. And we're just thankful to finish the week here all together, all of us here united. So yes, thank you, God, for letting us finish the week. And I'm super excited. This is our Thanksgiving series, but it feels like a reunion to me because we have here Sarai Robles. She's amazing. She's a hairstylist, makeup artist. She also started her own company, like jewelry. It's Just the Face Jewelry. It's so amazing. I'm wearing it tonight. Y'all can see. She makes it herself. She customizes it. And I'm so grateful to see you here tonight. And I can go on and on. You're amazing. And I've seen you through Instagram, and you're an inspiration. You're always with a smile, always. And she's also on YouTube. So you guys check her out on YouTube. She has all these videos giving you makeup, clothing tips, so on. And also she shares her stories. And for me, even being here on camera is like, oof, like I'm sweating here. So I give you props. You do it so good. So yeah, and the reason that we're doing this is to share our stories. And I know me, as I scroll through social media, I don't think, or I don't feel that I need a word. And then when I see something, it just hits. So we want you to connect through real stories, through real people, and to just spark a little hope in your hearts tonight and always. So yeah, Sarai, so where do you stay at now?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm so glad that you thought of me when it came to like this whole series. I feel very honored to be on here. But as of right now, I am living in Florida. So have the sunny weather 24/7. Well, not 24/7, 365.
That was a big change, right? Chicago and then Florida.
Yeah. So I definitely enjoyed being here in Florida with the sunshine and, the being so close to the beach. Definitely made a huge improvement on my mood from day to day. Because, Chicago's great, but, it gets cold and gloomy there for a good part of the year.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just share from your story. So I was seeing you doing so many things. You're a hairstylist, a makeup artist, and then out of nowhere, I saw your latest YouTube video, and it was unexpected news. But I don't know if you want to share your story and how you came about.
Well, yeah. So, I was just living life. I was working full time as a hairstylist. Like you said, I do hair and makeup, all kinds of stuff, like anything with beauty, I love. So that's what I was focused on. I was focused on building my career in that field and just becoming financially independent, because I've always been a person who wants to do a lot of things alone, I guess. So of course, like going through all of that and wanting to build something for myself, you know, a lot of like stresses can be put on a person and all that. And, you know, being stubborn and wanting to do it all on my own and all that. And then eventually this past year, starting around March, I started to feel some things going on with my body. So, just a lot of like weird things, like body rashes and like some hair loss here and there, you know, migraines. And I'm like, okay, I'm stressing myself out a little bit too much. Started to lose weight, like a lot of weight at a rapid rate. So I kind of just brushed it off. I was like, oh, I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to go meditate. I'm going to go to the beach, watch the sunset. I need to do something just to stop stressing so much. Until eventually, like, the symptoms got a little too much. And I was like, okay, I need to go to the doctor. And I went to the doctor, went to the ER. And that's when they told me that they found something in my chest. Like, they did all these tests. And a couple of days later, I was diagnosed with cancer. I got Hodgkin's lymphoma. And, you know, of course, hearing that I had cancer totally like rocks anybody's world, you know, because then you kind of just have to drop everything and focus on your health. So with the pandemic going on, and then having this news of getting cancer and all that, and having to stop all the things I was working on, it was a very, very tough time. And being in the hospital alone, you know, not having any visitors because of COVID and all that.
And you were still in Chicago at that point, or
no,
you
I was here in Florida. Yeah, I was
Okay.
here in Florida. So I've been living in Florida. I'm gonna backtrack a little. I've been living in Florida on and off again since I was 22, and I'm 27 now. So I was constantly going back and forth between Florida and Illinois for a while, until I eventually was like, I'm just gonna stay in Florida. I'm gonna try to build a life here. And yeah, so doing all of that up until this point, I had a plan. Things happen, plans fall apart. So, but in the long run, I am very thankful that it all happened sooner than later. Like, I'm glad that I went to the doctor. I found out what was going on. I'm actually in remission now.
Yes.
So yeah, I went through I went through the chemo. I did all of that. Now all I have left is radiation, and that'll be a couple of weeks starting soon, and then I'll be able to go back to life and go back to building up those plans again. Yeah.
How'd you feel in the beginning when you heard the news and when you were going to treatments, and how do you feel now? What has changed?
Yeah, in the beginning it was scary. I was super scared. I was confused because, especially before I got the diagnosis, and they just told me that I had a mass in my chest, actually the side, right by my heart, by my lungs, and all that. I was just super scared because I didn't know what kind of cancer it was. So especially with being in the hospital alone, I didn't really want to talk to anybody just because I didn't know what was going on. So it was just a lot of fear and confusion for sure. After getting the diagnosis and them telling me with Hodgkin's lymphoma, it was a very curable cancer, I was able to breathe a little after that. Because the doctor says, oh, you got the good cancer. That's what they say. They're like, you got the good cancer. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess that's a silver lining.
Yeah.
Right. So after them telling me the kind of cancer I had. I was in the hospital still getting tests done, having to go through all the motions because I didn't have insurance. So they had to keep me in the hospital until they had everything set up to make sure I can go through treatments and it's somehow paid for. And in that time, you know, no visitors were allowed. They thought I had tuberculosis because I had a cough, which caused a lot of phlegm. So I was isolated from everybody because, you know, they didn't want me to spread tuberculosis if I had it.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those feelings, like just being alone and having to go through that, it was very difficult. It was very difficult, but I always had like that. Obviously God is on my side and I'm going to be fine. And that's what I just kept telling myself, like, I'm going to be fine. This is going to pass. This is totally temporary. And even after like hit after hit of them telling me what was going to happen, the things that were going to happen like during chemotherapy and also after chemotherapy with the radiation, that's just what I said. I'm like, God has me. I'm going to be fine. And right now, after going through chemotherapy and knowing that I'm almost done, I'm just super like grateful. And I don't even know how to explain it, but going through 6 months of treatment and being in your own thoughts, being home, having all that time to yourself, it's like you have like this weird moment of just looking back at your whole entire life and like questioning everything. And it's crazy because I honestly, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just this feeling of gratitude that fills you and it makes you just want to go out and like shout to the world like how happy you are to be alive. So that's how I feel right now. I'm just very grateful.
And I saw in a post, you're like, I won't take this for granted. Like, I'm ready to go and do everything that I wanted to do at one point. And I was like, wow, like I felt that fire when you wrote it down, but I felt it. I was like, wow. And that's so inspiring. And what was the symptoms that you felt? Because I know this Hodgkin's is not well talked about. Well, I don't hear it often, even in the clinic. They just usually talk breast cancer, and this needs to be talked about because the symptoms, you know, they're very normal, kind of. You feel fatigue, and you know, with our schedule, we're always tired. So, what were your symptoms?
Well, the symptoms, like they started. Now that once I thought about it, I actually had some symptoms like years ago. The first symptoms that I experienced were like chest pains, and I chalked that up to like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, because that's something that runs in my family. So I had a lot of chest pains, so I just stopped eating red meat. I stopped eating fatty foods, tried to cut down on my salt, and it did help, or at least I thought it did help. Another symptom was I had like the swollen lymph nodes in my neck, and I went to the doctor. They gave me antibiotics and said it was just an infection. So I took antibiotics and it went away. Body rashes, like I said, that was a big one. I had a body rash literally all over my torso, my back, and my thighs. And it was like very dry, itchy, eczema type of rash. And that went away after like a month or so. And that's because like I did a lot of like topical treatments and stuff like that to get rid of it. And it did go away. Once in March, once I started having like really bad symptoms of it, and I assume it's because it got to a point where it was so big, like my body was just like, yo, like go get this checked out. That's when I started to notice the weight loss. I lost about 17 pounds in 3 months, and I wasn't dieting. I wasn't working out. I just started to lose weight. My dad was very concerned because my dad isn't somebody that I see all the time. So when I do see him, it's like sporadic. And when he saw me, he was like, "Are you okay?" Just because of how thin I looked. And also my coworkers and friends also noticed that as well with the weight loss. And the most I guess, difficult symptoms to deal with were the night sweats, the fatigue. I just felt tired all of the time, all of the time. I was never hungry. I had no appetite. Uh, the itching, I felt like I had hives like all over my body all the time. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't, like, going to work. I have to dress up for work. And a lot of times, like, because I'm a hairstylist, I like to wear, um, dressy pants and, like kind of different kinds of materials, and it's just a lot of that I couldn't wear. I was so uncomfortable all the time. And
And
those
I
were the
remember,
biggest symptoms.
and I remember because I was watching your videos, and at one point you said it was right in the middle when COVID started and they were shutting down clinics. So it was so hard for you to get treatment because nothing was quite open.
Yeah. Yeah. And because I didn't know what it was either, I was like, oh, this isn't an emergency,
Hmm.
because I just, like, I'm dealing with these things, but I'm not, like, cancer didn't cross my mind, you know?
Hmm.
So they told me that unless it was a dire situation or if I had COVID, then that's when they would take me. Plus not having insurance and stuff. So there was a very limited amount of places I could go. So that was really hard. And I dealt with those symptoms for about 2 months, going through all that for about 2 months. Yeah, until I was finally able to go and see a doctor. So that was interesting. Yeah, it was very hard.
It is, and you always kept the positive attitude from the. I know there probably was moments where you're like, I can't, but something which was your faith that holds you strong, your family supporting you, of course, that was there all the way. Um, but I remember also because I go by your YouTube videos because it was very impactful. Because I met you in my high school years, and I didn't know you were going through so much, and I was going through my own turmoils. And we made a comment. We were commenting that we don't know what each other or each person goes in silence. That we
Yeah.
go through so many things in silence. Um, and now that I saw your videos, and now that I saw you on Instagram, now as a 27 year old,
Yeah.
right? It looks like you were healing because I know what me is, well, let me backtrack too. So I'm big on generational curses, you can say,
Yeah.
things that we saw in our parents that we want to do better. So I had to dig deep. Like, why am I acting this way? Why am I feeling this way? So as I was growing, I started changing. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing changes. And I saw that in you that you were working inward to bring out light outward. How was that process as well?
Well, that's a huge process that it took me like years to go through. I'm still going through it. I don't think that process ever really stops.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but what you're saying about generational curses, yeah, like that was a big thing, and having to kind of look at yourself inwards, like, but from, I don't know, like, how to explain it, just to look at yourself in the mirror. Yeah, and just like really be like, okay, this is something I don't like. Why am I doing this? How can I change it? And how can I be better? Like, how can I do better? And that's a question I ask myself all the time, especially when I have like interactions with loved ones or, acquaintances and stuff. I always ask myself, like, how can I be a better me, in order to, like you said, bring the light out and share that with others? Because one thing I've learned is that vulnerability is extremely powerful. It's something that can change lives. And it's also something that is very hidden in today's society. Like, people are very afraid of being vulnerable, especially with like social media and stuff like that. Everybody wants to like portray this certain image and act like they got everything together, or something like that. They always put their best foot forward on social media, but I think it's really important to also share that we're human beings. We're all going through something. And that's how we can actually come closer together as a whole, is if we share that, and we're literally, we all bleed red, you know, like that's how I see it. No one is better than the other. And I honestly feel like that can change the world if we all just take the time to learn empathy and compassion for one another and stop acting like it's cool to be cold, because it's really not.
It's not.
It's really not. Yeah, so but that's also a process that everybody has to go through, I think, alone, and
In
take
their
the time. Yeah, take the time to really learn themselves. Nobody else can do that for you. So yeah, it's definitely a crazy process, but it has to be done. Like it has
Right.
to.
And feel the feel, how I call it. Feel the
Yes.
feel. Because I remember growing up, I didn't want to feel. So like you say, I'm going to be cold. I'm going to push you away. I'm going to push you away. And I'm going to just do me because I'm hard, how they
Yeah.
say. But no, yeah, you have to feel and really ask yourself, like, why is this occurring?
Right.
And I just wanted to share that because growing up, I thought I was the only one too. Like, am I the only one going through these thoughts, through this process? But as I saw your video, I was like, wow, I was not the only one. Many were going through it. But back then, I believe not many of these things were talked about.
Oh,
So,
definitely not. Yeah.
no. So as I
Yeah.
was growing, and then my siblings, they will help me too. I was like, wow, like there is help, and there was a reason why I was acting the way I was acting.
Yes.
Like it
There's
don't make
always a
sense.
reason. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how do you feel now? What's your next project?
I feel fantastic now. I feel, yeah, I feel like I have a whole new lease on life. And it's crazy because I definitely truly believe that anybody can do whatever they put their minds to. Like whatever they want to do, if you really put your mind to it, you can do it. So for me, I just really want to live a happy life. I want to live a life where I do the things that I love to do. I can support myself and live comfortably. I don't want like all of the riches in the world or anything like that. I just want to live a happy, healthy life. And I'm not really sure what my next step is. I just know that like as of right now, I'm really focused on my family, on my health, on my friends, and just continuing to try to live my best life, whatever that may be.
Yes.
So
Yes, and that's a project too. Being
yeah.
happy, and I'm so excited for you, and I see it. I see that glow and that joy. Um, but what's something that you want to share to all our viewers, or something that's just like in your heart that you want to share?
Well, I definitely want to share that you're not alone. You, even when you feel like you are never alone. There's always somebody there who you can call out to, you can reach out to. I know for me personally, I was always very stubborn and just never wanting anybody's help, thinking I could do everything on my own. And that is not the best path, in my opinion, to go down, because living is not something you're supposed to do alone. You know, there's a reason why there's 7 billion of us, or however many people on this earth there are. So I just really wanted to share that. Like, if you need help, reach out. If you're feeling alone, especially right now, you know, with everything that's going on, reach out. There are people who are waiting to catch you. So that's something I constantly want to share, is don't allow yourself to be alone, because, you know, it's never a good feeling like to be alone all of the time. So that is the message I try to give to people.
Yes. And it's so true. We can't do it alone. We all need a word or a support. Um, and we were made out of love from God. God made us with love, and that's why we seek love, and we need love from our family and so on.
And we're made to spread it. Like we need
Yes,
to
spread it. There you go. I was like, what's the word I'm looking for? Spread the love. Yes, I
Yes.
have a Bible verse here that I want to share.
Okay.
Where'd it go? Oh no. There, even though it's from Psalm 23:4. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, and they comfort me. Word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. And it's true. Sometimes you wonder, why am I going through these certain things? But he throws us in the fire, but he doesn't leave us there. He's right there next to us. Um, and I'm so glad that you're in remission and you're with your family in Florida.
Yeah.
And how's the weather over there?
It's beautiful. If you ever want to come to Florida, November through February are the best times to come. The weather's
November to February.
yeah.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Sarai, for sharing your story, your time, and letting us into an intimate moment. And thank you for inspiring. I still watch it because it's human nature. We forget. Um, we just see all the negatives and we forget about the positives. And every time I see her page, I was like, man, she's amazing.
Oh.
And you spark something in me. I'm serious. I'm not lying.
And thank you.
You are. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad to hear you're doing good. And then I see in the background you're doing hair or no?
Oh, those are my wigs. These are
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't wear them a lot, but I have them just in case.
No, you're doing great. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you're connecting. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here on our Loyal Friday nights. Whenever you want to come in, come and join us. And thank you for all watching. If you want to comment below or have any questions, or hit some hearts for Sarai. Thank you, Sarai. And I always remember you. You've always been, the tough one. You always had a smile, no matter what. I remember you always had a smile all the time. And you always greeted anybody in. You were so nice. Because I was always like the quiet one, and you would just come up to me and smile, like, come here, Carla. So I have good memories, and thank you for that.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I'm glad we can reconnect over on Zoom. Haven't done this before, so it was pretty cool.
Me either. I'm so new to this, and I'm trying.
No, you're doing great too. Yeah.
We're doing it together, girl. We're doing it together. So yes, hopefully we can join you in Florida.
Hey, yeah, for sure. Come on down.
It's so nice to have you. Thank you, Sarai.
Thank you.
Any words?
God bless. Happy holidays. Enjoy this time.
Happy holidays.
Yes, go eat as much food as you can. Stay safe. Wash your hands, all that stuff.
Yes. Everyone stay safe. Wear your mask and just hold on strong. I know it's crazy times. Hold on strong and hold on to God in prayer. What happened?
I said this too shall pass.
Yes, amen. So real. So thank you everyone for connecting with us, and thank you, Sarai. Big air hug.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for connecting.